Hi, my name is Gabby. I'm a student physical therapist with the University of St. Augustine, and today I'm going to be demoing a few exercises and then talking about how, from a therapist-patient standpoint, we want to progress these exercises, cue our patient, and just the type of things that we can look for to increase and decrease things as we go through them. So, before you start any exercise, you always want to demo them for your patient first. But for the purpose of this, we're going to go like I already showed them. So the first one we're going to do would be a progression through a squat. With our patient beginning and being in the cognitive state, we want to provide the most amount of feedback and stability for them in these beginning stages. I want to begin by having them at a stable surface like a tabletop, countertop, or a high-low table. Placing a chair behind them so that way they know that if they get tired, they have an extra support behind them that they can sit down immediately. And then you always want to be by your patient's side when you're first beginning these. So the first thing we would do is we can cue our patient to keep both of their hands on there. We're going to emphasize to them that what we're looking for is I really want you to concentrate on pushing your weight through your limbs equally. And I want you to really try to bend the knee and use these muscles in the front. As you come down, we're just going to keep it low depths. We're not going to go super into it. And then as you come up, you can even cue them to do a little bit of glute activation, watch for lumbar, any kind of compensations. Okay, so let's go ahead and try that first squat for me. Very good, right about there, and then come back up. Very nice. You can keep a hand on them so that way if they are compensating, you can kind of cue them for that. And then again, just re-emphasizing that you're staying here and that they are on a stable surface, that you're here to help them. Start with low reps and then progress. You could either probably do till fatigue on that first time or just kind of see where they're at engaging from that. So as we move from the cognitive state into the associative state, we're going to start taking things away. So for the next round, what you can do is you can hover your hands over the countertop and just kind of use them as you need to, right? We're going to increase our depth, and we're really going to, continue to cue for those same things, activating all of the muscles, looking for those types of things. And then you can also keep your chair, right? And you can use your chair as more of a sensory feedback this time. And you can cue your patient that what they can do is they can just kind of hover over the chair, like as if they were going to sit down and then not actually sitting in it, but just having that cue that that's what they're aiming for. And that kind of helps them know where to go as far as their depth too. So let's go ahead and try that for me. Very nice, good, and then come back up, good. And then again, you can manipulate your variables, you can increase reps, times, sets, however you want to do it. So once our patient is moving out of the associative and in full autonomous, depending on what autonomous is for them, if it's returning to sports or if it's just being able to do normal activities at home, will kind of depend on how you want to manipulate things. But for our patient here today, we're just going to take them completely away from the countertop so they won't have a stable surface. We can again continue to use the chair for cueing, but no hovering this time. We can increase our depth. We can have them doing the squats just standing, and then we can also potentially put them on maybe with a band if we wanted to, or just, like I said, just doing a squat in the air like that. Okay, so we'll take away all your feedback. You can go for more depth this time, and we'll increase from that. So go ahead and let me see a normal squat for you. Like you're sitting in a chair. Good. Okay, come back up. And again, we can take the countertop away completely. Okay, so for our last exercise, we're going to be doing some balance work. Again, since our patient is going to be starting in the cognitive state, we want to have them near a countertop, or if you have a true gym, so that way they can put their hands right in front of them and they can be holding on if they need to. And then we're going to place them on our foam pad. And we're just going to start with something easy with just standing there. And you can kind of progress with either time or reps till fatigue, maybe for the first couple times. We can kind of have them shift their weight. And again, you want to be close by them too, right? So we can have them shift their weight, medial and lateral. We can go onto our toes, and we can come back onto our heels. And so as we start to progress from here, we're going to start taking away more, right? So we can stay here, but instead what we can have is we can have them kind of hover their hands above. We can cue them again to kind of just touch and go with it as they need to. And we can continue to progress it that way, maybe more times, more reps, whichever. And then for the last stage, when they're really becoming more autonomous, again, depending on what autonomy looks like for them, is they're trying to go back to sports or they're just trying to be active at home. You can even manipulate with a Bosu ball. You can manipulate objects, putting things at different heights and having your patient reach for them. We want to take away as much of the stability as possible at this point, and then we can manipulate being on a more unstable surface, and then kind of manipulate things in that way.